ladies and gentlemen. It is your host of Alexify, the Place for Fashion podcast. We have a super special guest on today. She recently launched her very own brand, a dream she's been dreaming of her whole life, and she's been super successful on social media as a fashion influencer. Today, guys, we have Miss Gabi Daiagi with us. Welcome, Gabi.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be joining you.
So I'm so excited you're here. Oh my gosh. For those who, don't follow you or don't know who you are, tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, so my name's Gabi Daiagi. I'm 23 years old, even though I turned 24 in 5 days.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Thank you. I was born and raised in New Jersey. I moved to Florida when I was a freshman in high school, and then I came to Arizona for college. And I'm pretty sure like my love for fashion started as like a child. I never let my mom dress me, but I think it really popped off in high school. I was in like a fashion program, and that really kind of kickstarted my love for fashion. So then I started on social media in college, and it just popped off from there.
Awesome. Well, that's super cool. How did you really get started on social media? Like, what was the point where you were like, I'm going to start taking my social media like super seriously, and I'm going to, take that and run with it?
So it's actually funny. I've never had the goal of becoming an influencer. I went to Arizona State, and it's like an ongoing joke that if you go to Arizona State and you join a sorority and you're a pretty girl, you automatically have 15,000 followers. That just kind of like is how it happens. So that's basically what happened to me. And I posted this big little picture when I got my little, and that just popped off, and like College Babes posted it, TFM and all those places. And that's how I got big on Instagram. But for a while I was posting, slutty college girl pics, like frat party pics, like wasn't taking it seriously. But I would still get like collaborations. And then I feel like once I graduated, that's when I was like, I want to make this my career. And then I started taking it more seriously and stopped posting pictures of my ass all the time.
So you said also that, you have always loved fashion. I remember when I was in elementary school, I like took this neon yellow fringe scarf, and I was like, you know what, this is a scarf, but I'm going to make it a top, and I'm going to wear it with like a hot pink belt because, that was me, my 5th grade elementary school year. I always knew it too. I was like, I love fashion. So when you, decided that you were going to, you had the following and then you decided you were going to make it more of a job, did you always know that you wanted to do more of like the fashion niche?
I would say yes and no. I was very just into beauty in general. So makeup, fashion, like self-care, a lot of things like that. I would definitely say fashion was always my main focus, but it was never like that was the focus of my Instagram. It was more like I just wanted to post when I was wearing a cool outfit, or if my makeup looked really good, I wanted to post that. Like I never really was so deep into it. And I feel like that's why I grew pretty organically, because I just never really pressured myself so much to like be fashion, be beauty, be this, be that. Like it was just kind of, I just did what I wanted. And then it just turned into fashion slowly when people would be like, I love your outfits. I'm like, okay, maybe I should post more of my outfits. Then it just kind of turned into that.
Well, your outfits are so cool. I was like looking at your Instagram. I was like, damn, she's popping off. Oh my God. Well, we've mentioned you recently started a clothing business of your own, a clothing line, and you did so with your high school friend, I believe. That's
Yes.
super cool. I mean, friendship goals to say the least. Well, starting a brand must be such a super stressful thing to do. I mean, starting a podcast and running a blog is stressful enough for me, so I couldn't even imagine starting a whole brand. So like, can you tell us about that process? Like, how did you originally get started?
So yeah, my best friend Olivia and we met in high school, and we both had like just the biggest passion for fashion. And throughout high school and throughout college, we kept talking about like, we want to make a boutique, we want to open a boutique, we want to do this, we want to do that. And it always seemed to be like a boutique idea. But once Corona hit, or COVID, whatever, we were like, okay, well, people don't in person shop as much anymore as they do online. Like, if we did an online business, we could do it right now because Olivia still lives in Florida and I live in Arizona. So we started working on it like over a year ago. And I just kind of wrote down, people tell me like things that'll come out of my mouth are really funny, like just random one-liners, or like just something I say is super obnoxious. It happens all the time. I'm just an obnoxious human. So when that happens, I started writing it down in my notes, and I have like a notes page of like all the obnoxious things that come out of my mouth. And I was like, you know what? I should just throw them on sweatshirts. Like,
That's so
why not?
funny.
And then, I mean, obviously I want to put out like regular clothes too, which those are coming, I think, in like almost less than a week now, onto the site. But the first thing we wanted to drop was, my best friend and I have a very funny ongoing joke that I've made a lot of money off of my breakup. It's just like, I have managed to turn such a negative into the biggest positive in the world. So I was like, you know what, this will be my final little drop of like, I'm single as a dollar, I'm not looking for change. And it was just like a really fun drop. We wanted to drop like a loungewear set, while everyone's not really wearing, as I'm wearing comfy clothes, while everyone's not really getting dressed up. But the website's going to be, or the brand itself is going to be just everything. So I'm like really excited. It's definitely been the most stressful thing I've ever done. I didn't think it would be as stressful as it is. And I didn't realize how much money had to go into it either. So yeah, it's definitely stressful, but it's also like the most rewarding thing I've ever done. It like I've actually chased my dreams and like accomplished them, and I just get to continue to pursue them. So it's worth everything.
That's amazing. And I love that you just say random things, and then I feel like it's so true to you. Like I feel like because
Yeah.
you just say these things that and then you just put them on your clothing, like it's so true to who you are. So, there are infinite different aesthetics a person or brand can have. Everyone is always like, I don't have one style, I don't have, one thing. So what would you say kind of like your brand's aesthetic or style will be or is?
I don't know if it's necessarily an aesthetic, but I perceive it and Olivia perceives it as like trendy, classy. So we want to like bring a lot of the trendy pieces onto the site, but we want to make it in a way that it's not just my age that's wearing it, and it's not just a 16-year-old that's wearing it. Especially Olivia and I have very different styles. She's very mature, likes to wear like, she likes to look like a boss bitch, which I like to do sometimes, obviously, but sometimes I like to, show my ass crack. So, I vary a lot, but it was kind of also just like us two collaborating, just, like I was like, I just consider my aesthetic trendy.
Mhm.
I don't know what my aesthetic is at all. But so I said like my aesthetic's trendy and Olivia's aesthetic is like classy. So we're trying to make the site just like a classy, trendy aesthetic, I guess. If
Got
that
it.
makes
Like,
sense.
yeah, like combination of both. I feel like that reminds me of that TikTok sound where it's like you'll never meet like two best friends who have the same aesthetic or something. It's like one of them's always this and the other one's this. And I was like,
Yep.
yeah, that
Facts.
reminded me of
Facts.
that. Well, okay, so you have your self-love collection out currently. It's
Yes.
super cool. And it's just super inspiring to see, bigger influencers promoting self-love and accepting yourself for who you are. Is there more coming to us? I know you mentioned that you have some things by the end of the week coming out. I don't know what you can and can't mention, but
Oh no, I can mention some stuff. So we have, I believe, two or three dresses, a pair of jeans, and then two different tops, I believe. And those are gonna not be Outfox branded. So we're having like a boutique section of the site, and also like things that I personally create. Um, so that first drop, I personally created that, but it was a lot of money to do that. So like our game plan is kind of to drop like, boutique other brand stuff while we create our own thing. And in that process of, selling the boutique stuff, then we get to make the money back so that we can create the next set. I mean, like we already have so much like drawn up, but it's just like the money aspect of it's just so much, you know. But there's definitely like so much coming. This is like my dream. It's not stopping anytime soon. This train is going. It's crashing something eventually.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm excited. I already love the first line, so I can't imagine what's coming next. Can you give some like tips on kind of like, or just advice, or just let people know kind of like what your process, like what else goes into it, just so, you know, more people can hear about that business side of it?
Absolutely. So this was the benefit of doing it with my best friend Olivia. I am the creative side where she is the business side. So as much as like I would love to give you all of the knowledge in the world, that is not my forte, but I do know some things. I definitely would say the first thing that anyone should do, which it was the first thing that we ended up doing. We were planning to do other things first, and my dad's like, no. Literally the first thing you do is you come up with a name and you get that LLC and you get that like, you know, website domain, you get everything that you absolutely need, Facebook page, Twitter, everything, because we didn't realize that, I mean, at least me with like, you know, I have a following. So people unfortunately are malicious sometimes, and they would go and type in really fast the Twitter account, outfox the label so that it wouldn't be available to us anymore. So there are little things like that like I never realized were so important. But those are super important. And I would also say, I personally think that we did mess up a little bit, and I can own up to that. So to give anyone else advice, I thought it would be a good idea to not tell anyone about launch until actual launch day. I thought that that would be like cool. It didn't end up being the best marketing plan. But you know, like everybody messes up their first time. So like we didn't mind. It wasn't a big deal. But I suggest definitely you know, maybe not doing that and throwing out some stuff, like some hints to people, or just like, you know, letting people follow the account first. There are just like a lot of little things that you don't really think about that like are so important. But honestly, out of everything, what I think the most important lesson I learned, like the first drop, was just like, don't have such high expectations. Like everybody was in my ear telling me like, it's going to sell out the first day. Gabby, you didn't buy enough units. It's going to sell out, all this stuff. And I mean, I think it did well, but you know, we didn't sell out in the first like 5 hours. And like people obviously assumed, they were like, oh, I'm so surprised. Like you have a big volume. It's like, yeah, but you know, just don't get your hopes too high. Like everybody has a reason that maybe they can't afford it that day, or maybe, you know, their paycheck is next week, or maybe, you know, people didn't log on to Instagram or TikTok that day and didn't see that I posted. So it's just like, you need to just give yourself time, and not think of it as a race. And what a lot of my friends told me that made me feel better was, Gabby, Rome was not built in a day. And that was the biggest thing that kept me going.
Yeah, well, first of all, that's fucking insane that people would go and like say that Twitter handle or whatever. That's like absurd. Like
Yeah.
why are people that crazy? Like that's
Insane.
insane. Insane.
Insane.
Like that's like insane.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
And I
Like
had no idea either. I was like, not
yeah,
expecting that.
like I've had my fair share of online like harassment and bullying. And I've heard, you know, and I don't even have that big of a following, and I've heard other people's experience, but that's like crazy. Like that's
It's like malicious.
yeah, holy shit. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, moving on. That's crazy. So, like you said, Rome was not built in a day. And, you know, it's just like a constant learning. I mean, I can't speak to having a brand, but like even with my blog and podcast, like it's a constant learning thing. You find out what does and what doesn't work. So we mentioned like niches, and your niche is more on the fashion side. I as well am on the fashion side. I literally go to fashion school. My whole life is fashion.
Yeah.
It's like I eat, sleep, breathe clothing. But I, you know, really started to focus my blog in the past year and probably 2 years at this point on sustainable fashion. Sustainable fashion is really my niche. I think that especially as like a member of Generation Z, that you know, it's my future, it's my children's, my very far future,
I'm like,
like later, like 20 years from now, children, it's their future. And so, so many people don't realize how big, like, of an impact fashion has on our earth. So, is sustainable fashion important to you when shopping at brands or even with your brand itself?
I think sustainable fashion is so important. That's why I have never, ever, ever thrown out any of my clothes. They either go to my friends, they go to my family, they go to, I'll sell them to my followers, whatever. Um, when I'm shopping, this is kind of my problem lately. Just being honest, I haven't really been shopping. I don't really shop anymore.
Mhm.
I don't have room in my closet for any more clothes. I get sent a lot.
You're preaching to the
Um,
choir.
but touching on that, I try to, when brands email me, I ask them what their eco footprint is with their, you know, lines and with their clothes. And I make sure to ask if they're, ethical, like who's being paid, are they being paid enough? Are you slaving children? Like, don't do
The
that.
simple question.
Yeah, simple ones. So I make sure of those things. But yeah, it's super important to me. And Olivia and I actually, speaking of sustainable fashion, one of our biggest goals for the future, which obviously probably won't happen for a little bit, but we want to buy from so there are certain brands, like I'm sure but like designer brands that like they will just burn their shit after it's not sold because they don't want to put it on sale or they don't want to go give it to Neiman's or whatever. So there are some brands that have now started donating their scraps, and like instead of, not that they should do this, but instead of throwing it out and burning it, they'll cut it up and then send it to you, which is so cool and a great way to obviously keep reusing the fabrics. So our biggest goal is to work with a brand like Lucky or Paige or any jean brand and rework denim into a bunch of different clothing pieces, jackets, jeans, shoes, accessories, anything. Obviously we would love to branch out to even more things after that, but from like our research, denim is obviously just one of the most sustainable fabrics to keep reusing. So that's really important to me. I'm trying to figure out a lot of other ways to make sure I'm incorporating that into my brand and what I'm showing off on TikTok. But I will say I definitely do need to improve. There are some brands that I have personally reached out to that, reach out to me and I'm like, listen, I want to work with you, but like there are some of the things online that like I can't work with you because of. So that's what I try to do. Try to make sure I'm putting my part out there, but I definitely wouldn't say I'm the greatest at it. I definitely need to work on it, but it's going going in there.
No, I mean, I was like looking at I saw you popped up on my Instagram like stories, and one of the questions or something you were answering was like shopping at Shein, and you said the fucking funniest thing ever, and I was like,
I said I would rather shove 6 cacti up my ass than shop at Shein.
I was being myself. I was like, I love that analogy because same, like that was so fucking funny. I was like, hell yeah, girl.
There's no brand I hate more than Shein, and not only for obvious reasons of, child labor and not paying them. And, if you're selling a shirt for $3, that's just a problem in itself. Very obvious things that are going wrong there. But I think the thing that really tipped me off personally, and that's why I always tell people, they'll ask me like on Instagram, why do you hate Shein? And I'm like, please research it because my personal bias isn't going to, do much for you. But they sold
I knew you were going to say this.
Swastika necklace. A swastika necklace. And didn't apologize for it.
Their post, my Jewish dad was like, Lexi. And I was like, I know. And I was like, as a Jewish human being, what the actual fuck?
Right? And the audacity of them to not apologize, and the audacity of them to email me and ask for a collaboration, girl. I responded and I said, yeah, I'm Jewish. I would love to be sent your swastika necklace to
Yeah.
show off.
Yeah. No, fuck that. I was
I
pissed.
hate that. But
No.
it's really starting to irritate me because on TikTok, I can't get away from it. All people do is comment and ask, oh, well, is this on Shein? Can I find this on Shein? Can you do Shein? And I'm like, I get it. I was broke literally like 5 months ago. I was broke as hell. But at no point in time would I like to spend $5 on a shirt for me to wear it once and then it's fall apart, knowing that a child made it and knowing that that child is probably being abused. Like, I'm sorry that like your cheap clothes aren't worth it. It's just not.
You mentioned, just to quickly touch on it before we move on, um, you know, you said you're not the best at being sustainable. Well, nobody is. You can't become, and have a completely sustainable wardrobe overnight. It's unrealistic. And it's unrealistic to start a brand and have it be 100% sustainable. There are brands now who are the most unsustainable thing ever, but they have a goal to be more sustainable, but it's not going to happen overnight. So even like influencers and just people making the slightest little effort to like go thrifting or, not like to reuse clothes or give away their clothes rather than throwing it out, like that's helping, even if you sometimes purchase or work with brands that aren't always the most sustainable. Like you're making the effort and that's all that matters. Like if everyone just makes a little bit of an effort to be more sustainable, then our world won't be fucked in the end. So
Exactly.
that's all I have to
100%.
say. So moving on from sustainable fashion, but still on your brand, what would you say is like your overall brand message? Do you have like a certain statement, or is there something? I know that your first line that you dropped was all about self-love, which is amazing, first line to drop because you're promoting self-love. You're showing as an influencer that like maybe there's things you're insecure about and there's things like that, and so it's important for people on social media to see that influencers are saying like you got to love yourself for even your biggest flaws. So with that, like, is there a bigger brand full message?
I think that definitely the entire brand message is mostly about just confidence. That's like the biggest thing I like to preach about, just because it's so sad nowadays that like so many girls have no confidence, and it's so sad. And obviously I wasn't confident my whole life. Like in high school I wasn't like this confident or anything, but I'm trying to like teach other girls that I don't like wake up in the morning and I'm like, I am the shit. The world revolves around me. Like that's not what it is. But you literally fake it till you make it. And that's what I've been trying to preach for so long. So this whole brand, I just want every piece to be something that you put on and feel confident in, and you feel like you can run the world, you feel good, and everything. There's definitely some things that are coming that'll like make it more obvious about that. But yeah, confidence is the biggest thing with our brand. And that ties in with self-love and all that.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I think that especially because like I'm like our generation and future generations are focusing on sustainable fashion and like making the earth a better place, but we're also focusing more on just trying to hype each other up and like realize that nobody is the same. And
Mhm.
but we're also so consumed on our phones and our social media, and it's such like a balancing act. Like it's like, oh, it's super fun and it takes up all my time, but oh my god, when I'm scrolling through it, I'm literally comparing myself to everyone else's life. And so, I think that, I mean, what I try to make with my social media is that, like, dude, I woke up today and I felt fucking bloated. Let me show you. Like, let me show you how bloated I felt.
Yes.
And I think that, just seeing influencers make that effort and, start a clothing brand and make that all about that, like, that's super cool. That's really something that we should like be preaching, is that not everyone's the same.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm glad you posted about that too. That's something I post about a lot too, since I deal with IBS and a hyperactive thyroid. I always preach about the fact that like I'll be like, yeah, I was just shooting and now I look like this, so I'm gonna stop shooting now. And that's all that's it. You don't have to get sad because you're bloated. You just, okay, well, I'll do the rest tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I wake up and I swear I will weigh 10 extra pounds because of like health issues, whatever. And I will just be like, you know what? tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, like, no, we're not perfect, and I feel like so many influencers also, they don't, like, lie, but they withhold the, more messy parts of their life and the sadder parts and stuff like that, and obviously, it's what you do with your social media. You don't have to go on your story and be like, "I'm grieving this person today," or "I'm upset." Like, it's whatever you feel comfortable with showing, but there's that's where, like, the balancing act happens, is, like, we're all following these Kim Kardashians and Kylie Jenners and just, like, these, super skinny people with huge asses, and then we're all looking and we're like, "We're not super skinny with big asses, like, what's going on?" And
Yeah.
so, like, talking about the fact as an influencer, as or someone with, like, a big following, just that, like, just talking about it, like, even could make someone's day so much better, so
Something I live by, and I want everybody else to know, if you take anything from me, please take this advice or comment, whatever it is. There is not a single person in the world, if you go up to them that you're friends with or that cares about you or that loves you, if you go ask them what their favorite thing about you is, there is no fucking way that they answer how you look. There's no way that anyone's going to remember you for that. Like, I mean, maybe like, the Kim Kardashians and Kylie Jenners of the world. Yeah, sure, maybe. But that's not even, I don't want to be known for being pretty. I want to be known for being a good person and being funny and being kind. And that's what's so much more important. And I know that people kind of, that goes in one ear and goes out the other. But truly think about the fact that, like, there's not a single person in the world that's going to be like, I like her because she's pretty.
So not only, do you have your own business, super cool, but you're also very popular on social media, as we mentioned. Is social media a full-time job for you, obviously apart from your business?
Yes, 100%. I was looking for a job originally. I wanted to like work for a company and do their social media,
Mhm.
as well as doing my own. But I randomly blew up on TikTok, and then that also led to more followers on my Instagram. And I am so, 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 so blessed and grateful that I made this able to be a career for me. But yes, right now that is my only job. I plan on that probably being my only job for a while. But I just want to open some more businesses. I like being an entrepreneur. I never want to work for
Mhm.
someone. And that was my life goal.
Mhm.
Every time I got called into standards at my sorority, they would be like, Gabby, what would your future employer think about this? And I would laugh and I would say, it's funny that you think that I'll have an employer, I'll have employees. So no, I don't really give a fuck what they
No!
think about my pictures. How about
Fuck yeah.
that?
You're like, "My future employer, bitch, that's me."
Yeah, like no, actually, I approve of this photo. Thank you. That's
Yeah,
why I
I
posted it.
both. I feel like a lot of, people I've talked to specifically in my college and just other influencers, stuff like that, a lot of people started off saying that they wanted to run social media for a different brand or they wanted to do something for a different brand. And then what they realize is they're like, why do I want to do this for a different brand? Why not just do it for myself? Like, why not just build myself up? Why not just be my own, like my own, like you said, like my own boss? And so there's so many people that I talk to and they're like, yeah, like my I'd love to like do social media for this brand. And I'm like, well, why not just do it for yourself? Like why so I think that it's cool that, people you wanted to do that and now you have this like you have this following, you have this brand. And so people can see that, if they want to do social media for a different brand, they have a perfect representation here of that, like doing social media for yourself actually can, work for yourself. Like you can really build
Yeah.
yourself up.
I also just want to say, like, so many, people like think that it's, easy or it's fast. I promise you, it's not. It's really not. I did not start like making enough money as to have this as my career until probably like 5 months ago. And I've been doing this since my freshman year of college. So, you know, if it's not working right now, it eventually will. You just have to keep pushing. You have to keep grinding. Like, this is a grind. This is, when you are an entrepreneur, you have to grind all by yourself, but it's just, it's never gonna come easy. And if it does, it's not gonna last. So just telling everybody else, don't look at like any influencer and be like, how do I be like you? How do I grow like you? Like I promise you that there's no influencer other than maybe Charlie D'Amelio who just
Mhm.
blew up overnight and like
Right.
just became a millionaire. Like that's not how it works. You have to grind.
Yeah, and you have to stick with it. Like Michael Jordan, he was rejected from his high school basketball team. And if he let that affect him, not everyone in the entire fucking world would know who Michael Jordan is. So, like, you
That's
have to,
insane.
yeah,
That's insane.
like, you're gonna get 1,000 no's before you get that one yes, and then that yes is gonna drive you. So, you just gotta keep working, like you said. How has, this social media and this following really just, like, overall changed your life?
Oh my God. It's changed my life completely. I would say the biggest thing, it taught me just so many lessons about myself. Like I said previously, I dealt with a lot of, I mean, I still deal with anxiety and depression, but not at the extent I used to. Um, but some people would, say that social media really harms their mental health and things. But I was one of the lucky ones where a few years ago, it was what kind of saved me. Like all my followers always constantly bring like lifting me up. And I mean, I used to post like those sad quotes on my stories and like, things like that. And like people would obviously start to figure it out. And I posted a TikTok the other day, even admitting, like in 2018, I was like in a mental asylum. So there's like so much that was like hidden that social media did bring out, and for some people that might not be great, but for me it was like the best way to deal with it was to have like so many other people surrounding me telling me like I deal with this too, or I hear you, or like this or that, or like you make my day, like just seeing your outfit does this, like those comments like kept me going for so long until like I dealt with it myself. But I think that social media truly gave me more confidence, way, way, way more confidence. Gave me a strong ass backbone and some thick skin, and obviously like gave me my career. There's really nothing in my life that social media hasn't changed. Changed my relationships with my friends, my family, my relationships, not in a bad or a good way, just like changed them in some aspect. But
Mhm.
I there's nothing I would change about it. Like absolutely nothing. I love every single thing I've ever gone through. I've gone through some shit, but like it really, really taught me so, 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 so many lessons that I am so grateful for.
Yeah, I think that's why that's like social media is such a balancing act because for some people it's like it's what brings them down. They'll get one comment and they'll be like, that ruined my day. And so many people experience that. And then some people, they see the not the good in things. I mean, I think that social media it's a balancing act. So I think that, you know, there are some good sides to it and there are some bad sides to it. And it does really it can hinder, it can help your confidence, and it really just depends on the person. So I'm happy that, it has not hindered your experience. It
Yeah.
has it has made you more confident, and that's amazing. And the shit that you go through and we all go through, it makes us stronger people in the end. And I know everyone says that, but it really does.
And I definitely think that like, getting hate comments, I say it all the time on my lives because I go on TikTok live a lot and I'll get a bunch of hate comments sometimes. Um, I'll literally respond and be like, just so you know, there are two things that I think of you. Either one, you're jealous of me, or two, you're projecting how you feel onto me.
Mhm.
So I don't care about what you have to say. I'm a good person. That's why I've never left a hate comment. So actually that's a lie. I did on Candace Owens, but she deserved it.
Oh,
But she
yeah.
deserved the hell.
Fuck that.
But um I don't leave hate comments because I know I'm a nice person, and I just scroll past something if I don't like it because I'm not a shit person. So I'll say to them, I'll be like, you do realize you're making me feel better about myself. Like you commenting hate makes me realize I'm a good person. I would never do that shit. So
Mhm.
thank you
Yeah.
for the reminder that I'm a good person.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great way of thinking about it. And I think that, I mean, I was going to ask you kind of how you deal with it, but I think that so many people take it very personally when they need to realize that it has literally nothing to do with you. When someone bullies you, it's not because that person doesn't like you. I mean, most of the time it's not that. But it's because, they saw something in you that they didn't have and they were jealous of it. Or they needed someone to scream at because they have something going on at home and they screamed at you. Or like there's 1,000 different, but like probably 99.5% of the time it has nothing to do with you.
100%. Literally,
Honestly.
that's like the best advice ever too. One of my favorite things to say is like, for me to take your opinion to heart, I first have to value your opinion. So like if my best friend is telling me like, yeah, that outfit is not cute, like I might look deeper into it.
Right.
But if some random ass person that is user 7,256 is commenting like, I don't like your outfit, okay, show me yours, sweetie. Like,
And
no.
so many people don't realize too is that there's a person behind that screen. Would you like, when you're commenting that shit, would you like if someone commented that on yours? Like, how would you react to that?
Exactly.
Like, why are you doing it to other people? Treat people with kindness, guys. Sorry, I had to spit out a Harry Styles line there.
I became obsessed with Harry Styles because of TikTok. I was never like a One Direction person.
Oh my
And then
god.
TikTok, I saw these like sexy ass videos of Harry Styles. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God.
He is, wow. He really,
He's so sexy.
he's, wow. Like, I know no one's perfect, and I know this whole podcast we've been talking about how no one's perfect.
But he is.
We lied.
We lied.
We lied. Harry Styles, perfection.
Perfect.
Social media is really used, I mean, it's used for a lot of things, but it's really used for most personal accounts and like influencer accounts is used to show your followers kind of who you are as a person, maybe like what you're passionate about, what your style is that day or whatever. And it just shows your followers like what vibes you're giving off, what emotion you're feeling that day and everything like that. What do you want to see when people, pull up your Instagram page, your TikTok, your brand? What do you want people to see about yourself through your social media?
I think that like just the number one thing that I would want people to like take away from it is just like that I'm trying to preach my confidence. I'm not trying to like throw my confidence in anyone's face. I'm not trying to be like, my outfits are better than yours. My entire page is dedicated, all my social media pages are dedicated to me inspiring other people. So I'm hoping that like when someone goes to my TikTok and they, watch me trying on a bunch of outfits, I'll inspire them. Maybe they didn't feel like getting ready that day and now they'll get ready and put on a cute outfit because they saw me do it. Or I always say my good morning messages on Instagram because I want to make sure that if someone didn't tell you that they loved you last night, at least I can tell you when you wake up. Like there's just anything that I kind of wish that I had in my life is what I try to put onto my page for other people. So I just hope everybody kind of gets some sort of inspiration, confidence, some sort of good feeling like when they are on my page.
It's great that you use, your social media for good vibes. Now that you have, this social media page and you're starting a new social media page for your brand, what tips do you think you could give people on maybe how to keep a following, how to keep growing on Instagram, TikTok, any social media platform really?
I think that the only tip and the biggest tip that really works that people give is just consistency. It's like you cannot expect to grow your Instagram by posting once a week or twice a week or even 3 times a week or even 4 times a week. You have to post every single day. You have to post a reel, you have to post a post. If you're on TikTok, post 3 videos. Like every algorithm is different, but the only thing that all algorithms have in common is that they reward consistency. If you are constantly posting, it will pop up on the For You page at some point, or it will pop up on someone's Explore page on like at some point. It's just, I think that the biggest tip I ever got, and that's why if you go to my page, I post on Instagram every single day. I have a picture of every single day because that is how you grow and that's how you stay relevant. If you just stop posting, people are gonna be like, where'd you go? Like, or, like connect with people on your stories, like don't think of your I try as hard as I can. It is hard sometimes, but I try as hard as I can not to think of my job as a job. And that's what I think helps me grow, because
Mhm.
I just think of it as, let me communicate with my friends. Let me tell you that I love you. Let me repost what you were wearing that was inspired by me, like anything like that. Um, so yeah, I think that really just consistency, and above all, also just make sure you're posting things that you love.
Mhm.
If you're posting stuff for other people, it's going to be very obvious. I did that and people knew. People were like, that's not a you outfit. And it was just, it was what's trendy. And I was like, maybe people will like this. I want to show them. But, people can tell when you're not being your authentic self. So be yourself, be consistent, and just like stay on the grind. If you give up, that is when it will stop. You cannot give up. That is like my biggest advice of all time, is just be consistent and do not give up. Like, I know
Mhm.
it sounds stupid, but like that's how it works. I mean, it took me like 5 years to make it my career, 6 years almost. So if I would have given up, I don't know where I would have been now.
Right. Yeah. And I think like I always, when I'm looking for bloggers and I'm looking for TikTokers and Instagrammers, I'm looking for someone who's authentic. That's me personally. I look for
Yeah.
someone who, I can see maybe their acne and I can see that they are talking about, like, I mean, they don't have to necessarily be posting like, guys, I have this, like, look on Instagram, I have this huge pimple, but like being like, oh, I
Yeah.
struggle with this or I struggle with that, like talking about stuff like that's personally what I am looking for. So I'm like, why? So I like had this big aha moment and I was like, why am I like acting like I'm perfect? Because I'm not. I'm far from perfect. There are things,
Retweet.
yeah, there are things that I'm like so insecure about when I'm taking pictures. And so I was like, well, why not talk about that stuff? Like, that's what I like to see. I like to see like people being like, bitch, I got a flat ass. And I'm like, bitch, oh my God, me too. Like,
Yes. Like whenever people say anything about my boobs, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm president of the fucking itty bitty titty committee. I have mosquito bites on my chest and I'm proud of it. Okay.
yeah,
Like,
literally, like, that's what I like to see. So I'm like, that's what I'm also gonna do because I like seeing that. So I want my Instagram to be me and be like what I like. So you just, like you said, like showing just authenticity and stuff like that is super important. And I think that that's also becoming like way more normalized now.
yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And I love that the positivity movement is getting bigger. I just hope that we can learn how to make it a little better. I think right now, people, this is just from what I experience personally, but I get a lot of shit for being skinny, and people tell me, like, you need to eat, you're too skinny, you don't look healthy, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, congrats, thank you. I'm not healthy. I'm trying really hard to work on my health. I can't do anything about the fact that I have IBS or a hyperactive thyroid. Um, but I do eat and I am healthy and
Hmm.
like all these things. So it's just like, it's not like people say, like, it's for people that are thick now. And I'm like, no, it's for people who are thick. It's for people who are thin. It's for people who have a beer belly. It's for people who, their arms are just ginormous because they only work out their arms. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's for everyone. It's literally just body positivity. But yeah, I couldn't be happier that that is becoming way more accepted nowadays.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you talked about that because normalizing not only, not having this perfect body type where you're super skinny or you're skinny and you have a butt or you're skinny and you have boobs, whatever. Not only normalizing that people are gonna have cellulite and stretch marks and gonna be like more overweight and stuff like that, but also that, people who are skinny are eating. Like they're
Yeah.
not that's just because they're skinny doesn't mean they're anorexic.
Yeah.
I
That's a
think.
crazy concept that's been going around lately.
So now talking, fashion. We love fashion. Whenever I ask someone like what their aesthetic is, what their vibe is, what clothing they specifically wear, they always say they have no aesthetic. And I agree. I can literally go from wearing the pinkest, most sparkly outfit in the entire goddamn. I'm literally wearing pink
I know. I
strawberries
love
and
the strawberries.
thank you. Pink strawberries and a cardigan pink cardigan and red pants. And tomorrow I could literally be wearing black fishnets with black hair extensions and whatever, because that's how I felt today. Today I was feeling pink and strawberries, and maybe tomorrow I'm feeling black, everything. It's
Yeah.
like, it's whatever it wants to be. And that's amazing. That's the best thing about fashion, is that it's a means of self-expression, not only for who you are in your life, but who you are that moment of your life, that second, that millisecond. So I'm not asking you what your style is. I am asking you, if you had to pick one style, if you were stranded on an island and there was one store with one style only, which of the styles would it be? I know, hard question. I'm hardcore, bro.
I know, that's like people ask me this shit all the time and I just refuse to answer normally. And like I can't refuse to answer right now. So if I really, really, really had to choose, I think I'd definitely say street style. Just like a very like baggy, oversized type comfy look. Somewhere like along the lines of like, if I had to like choose like kind of like an outfit type thing, probably like some like baggy like trousers with like a little crop, some sort of jacket, you know, like oversized but also a little skimpy. I feel like street style is mostly like what I wear most often. But yeah, that's really fucking hard. I mean, I'm just like the same way. Like some days I'll wake up and I want to I literally will put on that wedding dress I was sent because I'm like, I'm a fairy princess and I will walk around with a crown on. And then other days I will be literally wearing all black in leather and I'll put on sunglasses and a black mask. And if someone tries to talk to me, I will like bark at them.
Yeah.
So there's just like very different sides of me. So like I'm the same way as you, but definitely probably street style.
Okay.
Yeah, wait. Now you have to give me an answer though, since you did it to me. You have to give me an answer.
Damn it, Gabi. Come on.
You did it to me, bitch.
Shit. All right. I'm gonna go with street style, but colorful. I love like, I wear my blacks and I love my blacks, but I love doing like, I'm literally wearing red and pink,
Yeah.
right, and green.
By the way, that's one of my favorite color combos for this summer. So you're like killing it right now.
Thank you. Back to fashion. What trends are you currently hating right now, and which ones are you currently loving?
I hate the flip flop trend. I don't like. I'm not into the flip flops. I have so many traumatizing memories from flip flops and like eating shit on the boardwalk in Ocean City because like my flip flop would get caught in like the boards. No, I don't like flip flops. Okay, that and the other one. Oh, so many people hate me for this, but like the sneakerhead trend. I'm not a big sneakerhead person. I appreciate designs of sneakers, obviously, like as most fashion people do. But seeing girls wear like such a gorgeous dress and throw on some Jordans, that would be the one that I'm hating the most. And flip-flops.
I remember like at bat mitzvahs, everyone would be wearing like beautiful bat mitzvah dresses, and then they'd wear Converse, and it was like a huge trend the year that I had my bat mitzvah, and I was like, bitch, I'm wearing gold heels. I am not wearing those sneakers with my beautiful dress.
What was your bat mitzvah theme, bitch? Tell me.
Okay, so I started my blog in middle school, so my bat mitzvah theme was Elexify, because why the fuck not? It was all purple because that was my favorite color at the time, and I had 4 outfit changes.
Queen!
I mean, shit. And the first one was this black dress that had to be conservative or whatever, and I couldn't show any boobies because it was the service dress, obviously. And then the second dress was this white, beautiful dress with pearls on it because I wanted to be different. And so I was like, let me just show up in like a short wedding dress, basically. And then I had a band at the time because I went to music school. So I made my own dress for the band performance, and I took, so embarrassing. I took, oh God, glow sticks, and I glued it to a black dress. So I had a glow in the dark fringe glow stick dress. And then I changed back into my white pearl one. So, round of applause.
Honestly, what a queen though. If you want to, okay, first of all, I'm a little like freaked out. I feel like we might kind of be the same person. Um, so I changed 3 times. I also wore a black dress to my service. And then I changed into a short white dress. It was gold and white, and it like had these like feather things on it.
Oh my God.
Both my sisters wore ball gowns, and when I was younger, I was such a tomboy. I was like, I'm not doing a ball gown. I'm doing a short dress. My mom was livid, so she had the audacity, by the way, to wear a ball gown to my bar mitzvah. I was like, I don't know who you think you are, ma'am, but anyway. So I changed into that dress, and then you want to talk about embarrassing, bitch? I didn't walk. I danced into my bat mitzvah for my entrance. To the party don't start till I walk in. And if that is not the biggest prediction of my future, that I walked into my bat mitzvah with the song TikTok playing, queen. Honestly, accuracy, way to go, Gab.
You want to hear something even more embarrassing? You thought it couldn't get worse. It does. Oh God, it's so bad. I'm a huge Baltimore Ravens fan. So, I thought it would be such a good idea that when the Ravens went to the Super Bowl a billion years ago, to take the song TikTok and make a parody out of it that had to do with the Ravens.
You're lying!
Going to the Super Bowl. So I changed the words to relate to the Ravens. I made a whole fucking production with my family and neighbors dancing to my version of this song. And then it got on the news.
You're lying! You're lying, bitch! Oh my God!
I'm gonna send it to you after this. I was like 5. Like, you're gonna be like, Lexi, what the hell? Oh my God. Okay. Well, anyway. Okay. So COVID, we've mentioned a little bit about it. COVID has, changed not only who I feel like am as a person. I feel like I was super insecure about myself. I was letting all of my high school like friends and bullies, really just get to my head. I was doing things for other people rather than doing them for myself. And then when COVID hit, I was like, wait, why am I doing this? Why do I give a fuck what anyone else thinks? I don't. So I feel like when I look back at myself then and I look at myself now, I'm a completely different person. But not only that, I think that my style has completely changed. What would you say maybe COVID has changed your style as a person, as your brand style, or just as you as a person?
So I totally agree with you. I completely changed as a person. I was in a super toxic relationship that I ended in June. So like during COVID, like he was living with me during most of COVID.
Oh God.
And then I ended it, and I turned back into the person I used to be. So basically same thing that you're saying, where like I was so insecure, and I just like I would do those things where instead of like hyping girls up, I'd be like, oh, she's not that pretty. Like for no reason, just because my toxic ex made me very insecure. But then during COVID, obviously I live by myself. So I was just stuck by myself at some point, like for like almost a month. I didn't see anyone because like, that's when it was like, hardcore lockdown. And it was just the biggest wake up call of my life. Like you're saying, I feel like a completely different person. I feel so much happier with myself. I feel like I, got a little bit more into like the spiritual aspects of life, like things of that nature. With my style, I wouldn't say that it like changed that much. I would say that I just wear, I guess maybe it's, I don't know how to explain it. Cause like it's like stuff that I would have already worn, but maybe I wouldn't have like felt as confident in it. And I would have like kind of pretended or, something along those lines. But I think that definitely COVID made me step out of my comfort zone in some trends and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think it changed my style too much. It definitely changed how I take pictures and like my social media a lot, because I learned how to take pictures by myself now. I don't have anyone take them for me, but yeah, I definitely changed completely as a person. Thank God, because I sucked for a little bit. I fucking sucked.
I know. I felt like God, like when you're just shitting on yourself so much, like it's not only you're shitting on yourself and making yourself feel bad, but then you just like, if you're not giving yourself the love that you deserve and you need, then you're not going to give other people the love that they deserve and need. So like, I know COVID has been a terrible, terrible time, and so many lives have been lost and so many people have been affected. But I also, there are the little good things that we can find in life that come with the
100%.
really shitty things.
Oh yeah. And I even think that most of the shitty things that have come out during COVID will better the world anyway. So like, even, for example, like the death of George Floyd made the Black Lives Matter movement so much bigger. It has helped so many people. It stopped so many like bad laws that were in the police system, police brutality, all these things. And it brought so much awareness that even though that was such a terrible thing, it's still going to bring out something much better, where hopefully we don't have racism anymore. And hopefully now that we dealt with a global pandemic, now we will know how to deal with the next one. Or, things like that. So like you said, I always try to look for like the positives and everything. So
same. Just the little things in life are always, super important to think about. Well, thank you literally so much for coming on today. I have had so much freaking fun.
Oh my God, same. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Oh my God. Anytime, literally, like anytime. Where can people find you on social media?
I'm just at Gabi Daiagi everywhere. GABIDAIAGI.
Awesome. Well, guys, you really can make your lifelong dreams come true. And Gabi has proved that here today with us. Follow me on my socials. That's on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's my name at Lexi Silverstein, Lexy, silver like the color, Stein. And remember to make the ordinary extraordinary.